Hey guys, so today we're going to do something a little bit different, which I hope will help show you how using a hardware wallet to store your crypto is not only safe, but really easy to do. Now, I've been lucky enough to meet and chat with a wide variety of crypto holders over the last few years, many of whom have been nice enough to come up and say hello when they've recognized me in the street or at a crypto event, for instance. But two things often happen in these situations. The first is that the person I'm speaking to often gets their phone out, opens their exchange app, and shows me their portfolio. And more often than not, they have a worryingly large amount of crypto just sitting there. And folks, you'll know by now that that is not cool. Now, when I mention this to them, though, and recommend a hardware wallet as the best way of keeping their funds safe, they often say something along the lines of, "Yeah, I thought about getting one of those, but they seem pretty complicated and I never got around to it." Well, two things. One, hardware wallets aren't complicated to set up and use. And two, the effort you put into getting one, setting it up, and moving your crypto off exchanges into it will be worth it for the peace of mind alone. To say nothing of the relief you'll feel if the exchange you're using ever goes down or goes bust. As FTX has shown us, folks, this can and does happen. So, in today's video, I'm going to take you through the process of setting up a hardware wallet and transferring your crypto to it, from taking it out of the box to setting it up and storing your seed to putting it away in a safe place with a sense of a job well done. Now, before we start, when you do this yourself, make sure you're in a quiet, private place with no one else present and no distractions. This is a job to do at home when the kids are at school and your other half has gone to watch Netflix or whatever it is they do. If you're doing this in a cafe or on a public network anywhere else, stop right now because you're doing it wrong. Now, for the purposes of this demonstration, I'm going to use a Trezor One. It's one of the most tried and trusted hardware wallets on the market and also one of the most affordable. Trezor also has a spec'd up Model T, which is a little flashier and obviously a little more pricey. Other good quality hardware wallets are available and they all work in pretty much the same way. Now, if you like the look of the Trezor I'll be using today, then you can use our link below in order to get yourself one. This helps us out too, as we get a small commission from any sales, just so you know. You can, of course, also consider another brand if you prefer. Now, speaking of Trezor's official site, that brings me to one of the key points to remember when buying any hardware wallet, and that is to buy it directly from the manufacturer. Do not, I repeat, do not get your wallet from a third-party site like eBay or even Amazon. This is because there have been instances in the past when unscrupulous sellers on these sites have already unboxed the wallet and noted down the seed phrase. This means they can access the wallet later and steal the crypto you've put onto it. So, order direct from the manufacturer, and when the wallet arrives, check the packaging. It should be sealed and display no signs of having been opened or tampered with. If it has, don't use it and send it back. Now, as you can see, this Trezor here is sealed in a plastic wrap and it has holographic tabs at either end of the box. If those tabs are broken, again, do not use, return to sender. Okay, so it's time to find out what is in the box. And I've got to be honest with you folks, I've always yearned to do unboxing videos, and now, well, the bear market is making my dreams come true. Wonderful. Okay, so here we go. Here is the box itself. As you may be able to see, it's still got its plastic film on. That's a good sign. But what we're really looking for is these holographic tags that I mentioned earlier. And you can see there's one and there's the other, and they are both intact, which is exactly what we want to see. And if you'll see on the back, Satoshi Labs, the company that makes Trezors, has also put a similar warning as I mentioned earlier. Basically, if the box has been tampered with, then do not touch the wallet inside. Okay, it's time to open it up and see what's inside. It's at this point that I should almost certainly make some sort of comment about being careful with sharp objects, like this Stanley knife here. Don't give them to children, don't throw them at animals, anything like that. So first thing to do, just going to remove the plastic film. And then we want to open up one of the tabs like that. Now these boxes are actually, they're pretty well sealed, so they're quite difficult to get into. So you might just want to make a incision along the top there in order to open up the box itself. Okay, let's see what is inside. Okay, so we've got a few bits and bobs. Let's get to the wallet in a sec. Firstly, you've got this micro USB cable here. This will come in very useful later on. This is for attaching the wallet to your computer. So we've got the cable there. We've also got a little lanyard as well. Then, what else have we got here? Okay, first of all, we've got obviously the getting started guide. That will come in useful later on. We've got some stickers as well. So if, like me, you have young nieces and nephews, you can hand those stickers over to them and they will be beside themselves with joy, as mine were. And what you've also got in here, now this is particularly important, you have 2 of these. Now this is for recording your personal recovery seed. And as it says there, do not disclose this seed to anybody. Very, very important. Now, here you'll see this is where you'll be able to write that seed phrase down. And the reason they give you 2 of them is so that you can write it down twice. Because it's very, very important to keep a backup of this. If you lose your seed, you are essentially locked out of your wallet, and that is not what you want. Anyhow, we'll go through that a little later on when we come to setting up the device itself. And speaking of which, here is the device itself. As you can see, it's got a little protective cover on there. We'll just get rid of that so you can see it properly. And there we are. That is a Trezor 1. It's got, as you can see, this screen here and then these couple of buttons. Now, these buttons, their purpose will become apparent a little later on, and they do serve a very important function as well. So that is what is in the box for the Trezor 1 hardware wallet. Let's move on and get it all set up. Okay, so now is the time to set up your new Trezor, your new hardware wallet. So, as you'll see on the back of the box, the first place you need to go when setting up Trezor is the Trezor site, trezor.io/start. So, here we are, and first up, you're going to need to download the Trezor Suite app. Now, this is basically going to be how you interact with your hardware wallet via your computer. So go to Get Desktop App. I'm using a Windows PC. So select it for Windows. We'll save it there. And that should download, depending on the speed of your connection. That should download fairly quickly. Okay, so once you have downloaded the Trezor Suite app, you can then should be prompted to open that. Okay, here we are. It is time to set up the wallet using the Trezor Suite software that we have downloaded. Okay, so I have the wallet itself plugged in via the USB cable provided with it. That is plugged into my laptop. And on the device itself, you'll see a little welcome sign. Welcome. Please visit trezor.io/start. That's where we are. So you'll see on the Trezor Suite screen on your laptop, on your computer, you'll see Set Up Trezor, and you'll see underneath it says takes circa 5 minutes. I would say it's probably going to take you a few more minutes than that, probably more like 10 at least, and you'll see why soon. So again, really important to reiterate, make sure you're in a quiet place, make sure you're not distracted, and make sure you have time. This is not a process you want to rush because there is important information that you need to note down. Okay, so bearing all that in mind, click Set Up Trezor. You'll first of all be prompted to install firmware. You can just go ahead and do that. That is usually pretty quick. And again, you'll see the device itself, you'll see a little installing graphic pop up there. So, what you need to have to hand now is those little cards that were included with the device that say your personal recovery seed. And you also need to make sure you have a pen. So if your firmware is still installing and you haven't got either of those two things, then you can use this opportunity to go and get them. I fortunately have. Okay, so once that firmware is installed, you'll see on the device itself, new firmware successfully installed. You may now unplug your Trezor. And on the laptop screen, on the computer screen in the Trezor suite, it'll be asking you to reconnect your device. So just take the unplug the USB-C from the device itself, and then just making sure you're not holding down any buttons while you do it, just reinsert. And that should take a moment or so. And again, you'll see a prompt on the device screen, update finished successfully. Please reconnect the device. Now, there can sometimes be a little bit of a disconnect here between. So again, just disconnect it. Plug it back in, and then, yeah, on that second time processing, that sounds positive, doesn't it? Okay. And you might also get a prompt from Windows. There we are, bang on cue, because you've plugged in a USB device. Obviously, you can just close that. Okay. So the Trezor Suite screen will show you firmware installation. That's completed, so you can now click Continue. Then you're given a screen, create a new wallet or restore one from backup. Now we are going to create a new wallet here. The recover wallet, that is, well, this is so, in future you'll have your seed phrase written down. If you were to be restoring an old wallet, then a wallet that you previously set up and used, then you could also do that from this screen. But we are creating a new wallet. And choose how to back up your Trezor. This process will also create a standard wallet for you. Again, standard seed backup. That is what you want to select. Okay. You'll now be prompted to go back to the device itself. And on the screen of the device, it will say, do you really want to create a new wallet? By continuing, you agree to our terms of service, basically. And you want to click Confirm on the device itself. And then the Trezor Suite will tell you your wallet is almost ready. You've successfully set up your Trezor and created your wallet. You should never use your Trezor without backing it up. It is the only way to recover a lost wallet. How very true. So you'll then be prompted to create a backup, and that is exactly what you want to do. Then you've got the screen here, and you'll see it's got 3 boxes, 1, 2, 3. And you basically need to confirm that you've actually read and understood the instructions. So number 1, check your backup in device settings before sending money to the wallet. Understood. Never take a photo or make a digital copy of the backup. This is really important, guys. You're about to note down your seed phrase in the next few minutes. You must do that to start with on this piece of paper provided. You must not make a note of it on your computer or on a note on your phone or anything like that, because that means that your seed phrase is then online, and if you have malware on your computer or anything like that, then that seed phrase is vulnerable. So you have to note it down good old pen and paper style. So you can tick that you've understood that. And then that final part, keep your backup secured and never share it with anyone. Absolutely correct. Keep that backup in a safe place. Don't keep it with the wallet itself. And yes, don't tell it to anyone else either. Okay, so once you've selected all 3 of those boxes, read and understood, then you can begin the backup process. This is the bit that takes a little bit of time, but believe me, folks, it is time well spent. So you get this prompt screen on Trezor Suite. Your Trezor will generate a list of words which you need to write down. This information is the most important part of securing your Trezor. It is the only offline backup of your Trezor and all wallets associated with it. Basically, if you do not note this information down correctly, you will not be able to access your wallet in the future. I cannot overstate how important this process is. So, if you look at the device itself, you'll see that it has started to display your seed phrase on the wallet screen, and it will be displaying the first word of the seed phrase there, and it will say it. First word is, and then You simply get your card with those 24 numbered spaces, and you begin writing it down. So write down that first word. Then once you've noted it down, you click Next on the device itself. Your second word is, and then you note that one down as well. Once you've done it, click Next and note down the third one. Now, it will keep saying the actual number of the word, the third word, the fourth word, the fifth, so you can keep track. But again, if you're paying attention, if you're concentrating and you don't have any distractions, this is a straightforward process. You just need to spend a bit of time on it. Your fourth word. Okay, so we will skip through the rest of this bit. You don't want to listen to me write down seed phrases. Okay, so once you've noted down your seed phrase once, you will see, just underneath that last word, just underneath that 24th word, you'll see a prompt saying again. And guess what? You've got to do it all over again. So the seed phrase starts from the beginning, and that is why you have 2 copies of the backup. And yeah, you've just got to note it all down again, folks. I know it can seem time consuming, but trust me, this is time well spent. So again, scroll through, note down, just double check that you've noted them down correctly the first time. As you note them down again, believe me, it is easy if you get distracted and you lose your train of thought. It is easy to make a mistake here. You don't want to note down the wrong word in the wrong place. Obviously, make sure you're spelling those words correctly. They're all pretty simple words, but sometimes there's one that may have a bit of a funky spelling. You can't afford any spelling mistakes in this, guys. So once you have gone through twice, you'll see that little finish prompt on the device itself. You click that. Then on the Trezor Suite screen on your computer, wallet backup complete. If you've copied down your backup, your Trezor is almost ready. How exciting. Do not lose your backup or your funds could be inaccessible. Yep, it bears repeating, folks. There is no way to recover a lost backup, okay? That's a good point to note. If you did lose your backup phrase, then there would be no point getting in touch with Trezor or anyone else and saying, hey, I can't find my phrase. I'm locked out of my wallet. There is nothing that the good folks at Satoshi Labs or anywhere else would be able to do for you, folks. So do bear that in mind. Okay, we then continue on to the next bit. It says continue to pin. Set a pin. Using a strong pin protects your Trezor from unauthorized physical access. Now, this is an extra security step, and it's very much worth doing. You can see there is an option to skip that. Don't. Set a good pin. So click Set Pin, and you'll again see a prompt flash up on the device. Do you really want to set a new pin? Cancel or confirm. You want to press Confirm. Now, this can be a little confusing for anyone unfamiliar, so I'll just explain it in the simplest way I can. So, on the screen of your computer, in the Trezor Suite software, you'll see Set up a new pin. Using a strong pin protects your Trezor from unauthorized physical access. Then, on the right-hand side, you'll see a keypad, but there are no numbers on said keypad. However, on the left of that, it says the numbers are displayed on your Trezor. You can enter up to 50 digits, and then there's more information about your PIN. So if you look at the device itself, then you'll see that, yes, indeed, there are 9 numbers displayed in a pattern on your Trezor. So the first thing that you want to do is to decide what numbers you're going to use. Don't use 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't use your date of birth. Don't use anything particularly obvious. Now, just for the purposes of this demonstration, I'm just going to use a 4-digit number. I personally recommend using something a little bit longer. but it's entirely up to you and what you can remember. So, first of all, decide on the number that you're going to use. I'm obviously not going to say it out loud. And then use using the key that's on your device itself, input it on the Trezor Suite software. So I've chosen my first number. I've chosen my second number. I've chosen my third number. And I've chosen my final number. Okay, again, I know which numbers I'm using because the numbers are displayed, the number keypad is displayed on the Trezor device itself. So I've chosen my PIN. I then click Enter PIN. Guess what? They want me to repeat it. And if you'll look, the number pad, the number key on the device itself has also changed. So you need to remember what PIN you've just put in, obviously, and then select it using the new key that's displayed. So my first number, my second number, my third number, and my fourth number. If you're following how my mouse is moving, you'll notice that it's going to different places this time because of that different key. Then enter PIN. It's just taking a second to verify. Guess what? I got it right. PIN changed successfully. Write down your PIN and keep it safe, separate from your recovery seed. Use it to unlock your Trezor when you need to access your funds. Now, if you pick up this piece of paper that you've noted down your personal recovery seed on, you will see as you open it up and look at it, you'll see on the left-hand page where all the instructions are, at the bottom, you'll see a little option, device PIN optional. Now, what I recommend doing is noting down your number here. Okay. And then just tearing that bit off because you do not want, as it prompts you on your Trezor Suite screen, you do not want to keep your seed phrase and your device PIN in the same place. Now, your device PIN should be something that you're easily able to remember anyway. Noting it down, especially if you've just come up with a new PIN, then that can be important, but it's something that you want to memorize. But obviously, you want to keep these bits of information separate. Okay, so I know my PIN, I've written it down, I've separated it from my seed phrase. I am good to continue. Okay, so we're then presented with a screen, a fun part that says Activate Coins. This is where you choose which coins you want to hold on your device. Let's select Bitcoin and also Ethereum. You'll see that includes all ERC20 tokens as well. Gosh, there are some interesting choices there, aren't they? Bitcoin, gold, Namecoin. Wow, that takes me back. Okay, and let's just add Dogecoin for a laugh, shall we? Why not? Why not? It's all a bit of fun. Okay, so you've selected those coins. Don't worry about these testnet coins down below. Basically, you're selecting which coins you want to store on this device. Now, you'll notice that because this is a Trezor One, it does have limited coin support. It supports the big ones, and of course that ERC20 category is pretty huge. But you'll see there isn't support for XRP or Cardano or ADA at the moment. So this is something that you need to have been aware of before you bought the wallet itself. Like which coins and tokens are you looking to hold? If you want a greater choice, then the Trezor Model T has a longer list of supported coins. And of course, other hardware wallets do support other coins as well. Anyhow, so we've chosen those for the purposes of the demonstration. We go to Complete Setup, and guess what? Setup is complete. What a great day. Do you want to call your Trezor something? You can if you like. I'm going to call it the G-Man because that's just the way I roll. And if you want to rename it, you do have it. You'll see the prompt to confirm it on the Trezor. Do you really want to change name to the G-Man? Yes, I do. Yes, I do, Trezor. Absolutely, I do. And there we are. Setup is complete. That is how easy it is, folks. Like I say, it just means spending a little bit of time, but it is time well spent. Okay, you can then access the suite. Now, that will then take you to this screen, select wallet type. We are going to select just a standard wallet here. A hidden wallet is an extra feature that a Trezor has, and it's a nifty little feature, but it's a little more advanced. So just for the purposes of this demonstration, we're just going to select standard wallet. And it will then take you to your dashboard and your portfolio. And as you see it loading, you'll see your wallet is ready to use. And of course, there is nothing in the portfolio at the moment because we haven't added anything. That is the second part. Okay. So in order to add, I'm just going to take you through adding a little bit of Bitcoin onto this for the purposes of a demonstration. So you want to click Receive and you want to get your address. And when you go to that screen, you'll see those are the coins we selected, obviously. Now, show full address is the first thing you need to do, and you'll be given that. You'll be given either a QR code or the alphanumeric address here. And you'll see it's asking you to confirm on Trezor. Just click Confirm. That's all good. Now you'll notice that you're sometimes asked to confirm things on the device. This is basically an extra security measure. It's to make sure that someone can't necessarily access your wallet remotely. So you have to have both the wallet and the Trezor suite in the same place, as were. It's just an extra layer of security. And then you can see you can copy that address. So before we do that, we're now going to go to an exchange account. Now, I am using someone's Binance account. One of my colleagues at Coin Bureau here has said that I can transfer some Bitcoin from their Binance account. As you can see here, they've got some staked ETH, good on them. But otherwise, they're not holding too much crypto in their Binance account, which is exactly what we want to see. Okay, so we're going to deposit some Bitcoin onto the wallet. So we go to Withdraw, because we're withdrawing from Binance to the wallet. You'll then see coin Bitcoin, and then it's asking for the address. So you go back into Trezor Suite and you copy the address. We're going to use the alphanumeric one. Obviously, you could scan it if you were using the Exchange app on your phone, but for the purposes of this demonstration, we're using the laptop one. Okay, so you've copied that address. You then take it there and you then paste it. You'll notice that it's detected that you're using the Bitcoin network. That is all good. Then you have the option of how much you want to transfer, and that's the actual amount available there, just over $100 worth. Now, you can click all of it, but if this is the first time that you're transferring to this wallet, I really, really recommend doing a test transaction first, guys, because you just want to make sure, especially if you're going to be transferring a large amount of Bitcoin, you just want to be 100% sure that the transaction is working. It's good to practice these things. There's no harm done. Let's just put in the minimal amount that we can transact there, 001. You'll see there's a small network fee to pay, and then you click Withdraw. Now, all exchange apps, all exchange platforms work slightly differently, but as you'll see, you're getting a prompt from Binance here. Ensure that the address is correct and on the same network. Transactions cannot be cancelled. Yeah, very important, guys. And this is, again, why I'm saying it's worthwhile to do a test transaction as well. Once you've understood all that, now, if you wanted to double check, you could always go back and just check that the address is in fact the one you've pasted. Worth doing, especially just for peace of mind. Once you're all happy, you can click Continue. Then it is time. Now, we've got, I've been given my colleague's phone here to do this. It's always a good idea to have verification set up, security verification set up. So they've got email and authenticator. That is good to see. So I usually start with the email because sometimes the email can take a few seconds to come through, and obviously you don't want to be having to deal with that whilst the authenticator code runs out, and then you have to re-enter the authenticator code. So here we are. They've got the email from Binance. and they've got the verification code. So once that's in, then you can go to the authenticator app that you're using, and you can put in the authenticator code. Once those are both in, click Submit. Withdrawal request submitted. Success, in other words. Okay. So you'll see here now. This is the Bitcoin network, of course. That means we do have a little while to wait. Your withdrawal request is being reviewed and will take approximately 12 hours. Goodness. You can view the status of your withdrawal request in the withdrawal history. Now, the reason why this is taking a long time is because basically it's a very, very small transaction. It won't have priority. So this can take a while, folks. So again, it's very much worth doing, but bear in mind that can take a while. You can click Complete there. And if you just scroll down, you can see that it's processing there. Okay, so for this part of the tutorial, that is it for now. We basically now need to wait for that transaction to go through. And it will pop up in the dashboard here, and we will confirm that later in the last part of the tutorial. I hope that all makes sense.